guys, this is my birth center video. Um yeah, I'm gonna talk about a lot of things in this video, so it might be kind of long. I'll do a little index on the side somewhere where you can get through the video if you don't want to watch the whole thing. If you do want to watch the whole thing, just keep watching. I'm gonna start off talking about why I chose a birth center birth rather than a hospital birth or a home birth. And my reasonings for that, which a lot of people watching this video, if you guys are my family or friends, would think that this is a little bit crazy, or not crazy, but it's just something that is unheard of, or something you've never heard of, or something that people are not used to, because I know that almost all of my friends are having babies right now, because we're all in the same age group, and a lot of them, they just naturally go to the hospital. They do not know that there's other options out there for moms. It's just like, oh, I'm having a baby. Oh, okay, well then when the baby's born, I'm gonna go to a hospital. Like, they just don't know. And when I tell somebody, one of my friends or one of my family members, that don't really know that there's other options out there, they're like, what? A hospital? Like, I mean, not a hospital? Like, how do they do this? How do you do that? Like, do they have IVs? Do they have this? Like, they just start asking so many questions. So, I guess I will address those things in this video. And basically, why I chose a birth center is because in a hospital, um, everything is more routine, like one size fits all, and they kind of treat all moms the same, and they have usually the same policies throughout all the hospitals. You get there, they'll probably want you to sit in a wheelchair, drag you into with the wheelchair to the room, even though you're perfectly capable of walking. They're gonna strap the fetal monitor on you, to strap the blood pressure thing on you. They're gonna automatically make you change into a gown, automatically put an IV in. They're not gonna let you eat and drink. And those are already enough interventions for me to be like, no, I don't want that. There's also a lot of other stuff. Hospitals are very rushed. I mean, like, literally, if you're not progressing as fast as they would like you to progress, they're automatically going to start offering induction drugs such as Pitocin into your system. And a lot of the times they aren't really needed, and definitely not when the hospitals say it. Hospitals nowadays have like a 12-hour limit. Like, oh my god, you've been here 12 hours and this baby hasn't come out yet, so we're gonna give you a C-section. And I mean, the C-section rate in the United States is literally pushing 40%, which is almost half. That's almost one in every 2 moms is having a C-section rather than a normal birth. And to me, that is ridiculously high amount. But I think it's a little bit more on like 1 in 3, because it's like 30 something, almost 40%. But still, 1 in 3 is very, very high. Another reasoning is that they're gonna knock on your door like every 20 seconds, offering you pain medication. Hey, do you want your epidural? Hey, do you want this? And for some, that is spectacular. Some people are like, no, I don't want to feel that pain, and I want to go to the hospital and get my epidural right away, and that's okay if that is for you, and if you want pain medications or whatever the case may be, then awesome. But it's definitely not for me. And the fact that I know that I will tell the hospital I want a natural birth, and they're still gonna knock on my door and be like, hey, are you sure you want a natural birth? Are you sure you don't want the pain medication? Every 5 minutes is just kind of annoying. And the reasons they do that is because in a hospital, 90% of women get medication, get pain medication. And they are not used to a natural laboring woman making noises, feeling pain. It kind of makes them feel uncomfortable, and they want you to get that epidural. But there's plenty of reasons why I chose that I do not want an epidural. There's plenty of reasons why I chose that I do not want to get induced by Pitocin. I mean, the reasons could go on and on and on, but really, my main thing is I don't want that. And you really, if you really want to know more about it and you're a mom that's interested and it's like, why, you should go ahead and watch the documentary The Business of Being Born. And you should also watch the documentary Orgasmic Birth. I know that sounds a little weird, but they're both very good documentaries, and they explain a lot of the reasonings behind what I'm just saying. Um, but at a birth center, everything is completely different. There is no pain medication, so they will not offer it to you. Um, and there are very few interventions. At a birth center, you come in, you wear what you want to wear. You do not have to wear a hospital gown. You do not have to wear anything at all if you don't feel like wearing anything at all. You labor the whole time, 100% naturally. You do not get automatically strapped to a fetal monitor, strapped to a blood pressure thing on your arm, an automatic IV. None of that. You walk in and you just labor, and you make sure you eat and drink throughout your labor so you stay hydrated. In the case of where you are dehydrated, they do have an IV that they can put in you. And when people think that, oh, they don't have IVs, they don't have this, they don't have that, it's not safe, da da da, but they actually do have it in case of emergency. They just don't think that every woman should walk in there and automatically have an IV in their arm, because that's not true. We can drink water, we can eat, we can stay hydrated. But in case that we can't and our body needs a little extra help, then they do have the IV. They also will monitor me just using a regular Doppler to listen to baby's heartbeat and regular blood pressure. But they'll check in on it like every hour or every couple minutes, depending on the stage of my labor. They won't have it on me. I also won't be confined to a bed to where I'm like, at a hospital, you got to stay on a bed. I mean, sometimes they let you walk around and move around a little bit, but most of the time, as the farther you get into your labor, the more they want you on that bed. And when it comes to pushing your baby, you're going to be on that bed. And you're going to be pushing in the regular, on your back, legs up, holding kind of thing. And I mean, that's just not how the birth center does it. You can labor in the water. You can have a water birth. You could have the birth on the bed in that position if you want to. You could squat. You can be on all fours. You can push your baby out standing up if you want. Whatever feels comfortable and natural for mom is whatever they allow you to do, which I think it's great. And they have backup oxygen, backup, you know, IVs. They can sew you up in case you have a tear. I mean, any of that stuff. But I'm very excited for my natural birth. I really, really want one. And I think that's great to say. Like, wow, I am excited for my birth. I mean, there's plenty of moms my age right now, like I said, that are like, oh my god, I'm scared to labor. I'm scared to this. I'm scared of the pain because of all these horror stories they hear, or like how the media portrays giving birth is just such a horrible thing, instead of telling women that birth is empowering and birth is special and it can actually be very, very beautiful, even if it is natural, even if you do feel pain. I mean, it's just the way that it was meant to be, in my opinion. And that is why I chose a birth center. Um, then I'm going to go ahead and talk about where I live and my birth center options. I live in Orlando, Florida, and that is as much information as I'm giving you. I believe there's 5. There's Common Sense Birth, there's The Birthplace, there's Tree of Life Birth Center, Heart to Heart Birth Center, and Inspiration Family Birth Center. The only 3 that I visited, though, was Tree of Life Birth Center, Heart to Heart Birth Center and Inspiration Family Birth Center. And I think I went ahead and chose the Heart to Heart Birth Center. And the pros to this one, I mean, the place is beautiful. Decorations are beautiful. It literally looks like a luxury birth center. I love the decorations. I love the vibes. I love the rooms. They were very spacious. You can labor and birth in water as well. Um, the hospital, in case there is an emergency, which it could happen, it's about a small percent chance that it could happen, that there's an emergency to where you have to be transferred to the hospital. But if that happens, the hospital is literally kind of right in their backyard. Like, I could literally walk there. There won't be a need for an ambulance. I probably won't want to walk there, so I'll take my car, but it's literally right there, and I think that's very good. They also already accept my insurance. They are very friendly and very kind. They had a lot of different classes and options to take: breastfeeding classes, birthing classes, etc. The cons to this place, which would be that they also have an on-call rotation between 3 different midwives, and it was the farthest away from me. I'm gonna say it's about 45 minutes, which is really not that big of a deal, honestly, but it is the farthest. And in my opinion, it was the most beautiful, the most spacious. They were very kind. It was close. The hospital was close in case of emergency. I just think they were very professional. They were the only ones who also gave me this wonderful folder of like information and like beautifulness, and they really, in my opinion, they really did talk to me. They answered my questions to my standards. Everything was great. So that's the one that I ended up choosing, and it's beautiful and wonderful, and I love it so much. Um, that's basically it for the tours in the birth center. If you are looking into a birth center and you live in Orlando, Florida, um, I'm I like Heart to Heart. I'll probably do a review on it after I give birth and, share my experience and my birth story and all of that. But really, that one was my favorite. And if you are watching this and you're pregnant and you didn't know that there were other options out there, and you were just like, oh, I automatically thought that you go to the hospital, and this kind of interested you, I really recommend watching those 2 documentaries that I said. I also recommend, reading books on it, because a lot of the stuff that hospitals are telling you nowadays are very misleading, very inaccurate. Um, I feel like hospitals are lazy when it comes to giving birth. I feel like they rush you because they want you in and out. I feel like it really is just a business. I mean, you're there for the money. The surgery costs more money than a vaginal birth, and they're just pushing that surgery, pushing those drugs, because I really feel uncomfortable with a hospital setting. And people will tell me, oh, you're brave for not giving birth at a hospital with no pain medication. But, my response to that would be is, you're brave because for giving birth at a hospital. Because to me, there's a lot of risks. They're really messing with nature when it comes to giving birth, and they're treating birth as if it was a disease or medically needed. Like, it's ridiculous. Birth is natural. We can birth at home like animals do. Animals don't get C-sections, and they don't get pain medications, and they birth just fine. And 9 times out of 10, a lot of the reasonings why these C-sections happen, oh my god, I had to get a C-section because my baby's heartbeat was slowing down and my baby was in distress. And if I wasn't in the hospital, my baby could have died. Thank God I was in the hospital. But chances are, the reason that your baby was in distress in the first place was because the Pitocin and all the other drugs and all the bright lights, and you're not relaxed, and then you don't progress as well as you should, and that caused the problem, not the fact that your baby was actually in distress. You could have probably avoided it. I mean, in my opinion. But that's really something that I think everybody should look into individually. And if you really do feel safer in a hospital setting, then that is wonderful. And just do that, because ultimately is where mom feels safe and where baby's going to be safe. And baby's going to be safe in either one, and mom's going to be safe in either one. But it all depends on where she feels safe. And I guess that's all I have to say for this video. It was a long video. Very, very sorry. But yeah, thanks for watching, and comment, subscribe, any questions, and bye.